Planet Dolan. Which cartoons had dark, racist undertones? Were some based on real-life murder and suicide? Here are 15 of the creepiest conspiracies we have about cartoons. I'm Danger Dolan, and today I will be your narrator.
Number 15.
A school in Poland decided that My Little Pony wasn't suitable for any of their students. The school principal decided it was promoting the occult, Satanism, vampirism, and black magic. And although you'd think other schools might tell them to chill out and stay away from the glue cabinet, they all jumped on the crazy wagon thanks to a priest named, and this is gonna hurt to say, Slowomir Kostrasiwa. Slowomir Kostrasiwa. This guy claimed that My Little Pony was made by its creator, Ikaha Shimizu, as a tribute to Satan for helping to heal his teenage daughter from cancer.
Number 14.
The world of the Flintstones was relatively similar to life in America at the time it was aired, but why did they have so much technology that seemed like a botched together version of real modern equipment? One theory suggests that Bedrock survived a nuclear war and the families are now using genetically modified animals and material around them to recreate technology they had before the war. Literally the plot of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Number 13.
And how about we take the Flintstones theory a step further? If regular people stayed on the ground, then the safest place for the rich would be up in the skies, living in artificial cities. What if the Jetsons are the rich overlords of the Flintstones and they just decided to leave them down on the ground to rot and mutate extra limbs? Both cartoons were made during the height of the Cold War, so a future apocalypse didn't seem that unrealistic.
Number 12.
The Smurfs were happy living out their little country lives until a French sociologist published a book linking them with the Nazis and Stalin's communist dictatorship. Others have pointed to the white caps they wear as a nod to the KKK. Papa Smurf's red hat could either be similar to Klan's High Wizard or Stalin. The Nazi link is thanks to their enemy Gargamel, who could be taken as an anti-Semitic caricature.
Number 11.
In most early Disney cartoons, the characters had pretty similar personalities, but they realized they'd get boring quickly, so they made Mickey more Scottish and Goofy dumber. Donald, however, got angrier. Like, he got really angry sometimes. And much of this happened after stories where he fought the Japanese in World War II. So what if Donald's suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder? It also explains his occasional war flashbacks.
Number 10. Adventure
Time has a whole host of weird and wonderful characters, and in the show they occasionally reference the Great Mushroom War. So what if the land of Ur is an alternate world where the Cold War turned nuclear? Ice King's freezing lands are Russia, Princess Bubblegum occasionally speaks German, and Finn, young and trying to save everyone, he's the US.
Number 9.
When Disney adapted the classic Snow White tale, they had added some elements of their own. If you thought Alice in Wonderland was the only druggy film Disney made, well think again. Snow White, White Snow. It's all about cocaine. Even the dwarves are named after various symptoms, effects, and come downs. Happy, grumpy, sleepy. The dwarves all work in a diamond mine, but, as we all know, this is clearly a cover, so they can wander around with rocks or crack cocaine. Obviously.
Number 8.
Some observant and paranoid viewers have noticed that the main characters in SpongeBob represent the 7 deadly sins. Patrick is sloth, Mr. Crab is greed, Plankton is envy, and so on. There are a lot of other conspiracies around the show, like it promotes homosexuality, everyone's on drugs, and SpongeBob's a tampon. Because, you know, he's a sponge, he lives in Bikini Bottom, his neighbor's a pink starfish. You get it.
Number 7.
My Neighbor Totoro is one of the greatest animated films ever made, and it's loved for its array of cute and friendly characters. But there are a few little moments in the film that hint at its dark origin. First, the sign on the cat bus reads Grave Road, a little ominous for such a sweet cartoon. Features a scene with Jesus statues who are supposed to protect those who die young. And the whole film is set in the Sayama Hills. There was a real-life murder case called the Sayama Incident, where a young girl was murdered, and then her older sister committed suicide. So it's thought Totoro is really the god of death, and the girls can only see him because they are dead.
Number 6.
The Rugrats was all about the lies of talking babies, led by the ever-bossy Angelica, But what if most of these children were not real and were just an elaborate coping mechanism for Angelica to deal with her horrible life? The only real baby is Dill, which is why he is the only one who can't speak. The others can chat away as much as Angelica's twisted mind wants them to.
Number 5.
When the toys in Toy Story 3 realize they're not wanted anymore, they consider hiding in the attic. But they are found and sent off to a daycare center when there is a high concentration of other toys also camped out there. And eventually their bodies are almost burnt up in the incinerator. Sounds familiar, right? Sounds a little bit like the Holocaust, doesn't it? At the end of the film, they even relocate to a place where they're all wanted.
Number 4.
The Fairly Odd Parents, Cosmo and Wanda, would help little Timmy deal with whatever problems came up. But a core idea of the show was that if you use them too much, things would get real bad. So, what if this was a metaphor for the rise of antidepressants? Cosmo is Zoloft, Wanda is Prozac. A show about Timmy just staring at the wall for hours would have been a hard sell.
Number 3.
The Care Bears were easily identifiable by the image they had on their bellies. But were these things really just random cute things? Maybe there was a message hidden in the bellies of the beasts. They actually match up with voodoo symbology. When you compare the friendly spirits of voodoo with the Care Bears' desire to just be friends, well, it can't be a coincidence.
Number 2.
Peanuts always had a slightly somber feel to it. You felt like there was always a depressing cloud looming overhead. Perhaps it was meant this way though, and the reason Charlie Brown looked like a middle-aged accountant is he actually had cancer. Maybe that squiggle on his forehead wasn't a patch of hair, it was a tumor on his face.
Number 1.
In a Simpsons episode from 1992, Homer slips into a coma and meets God. So then God makes a joke that he's gonna die in 6 months. Then, in an episode 6 months later, Homer ends up in another coma. But what if he doesn't really wake up? This would explain why no one in the series ages and why the show got considerably wackier from this point on. So guys, what's the creepiest cartoon conspiracy you know of? Let us know in the comment section down below. We'll pin our favorite at the top. That is it for this countdown. Have a good one!